I would like to share my experience with being left-handed. The reason why this has come to the forefront of my mind is because I recently spent an evening with my cousin, Therese, who is a fourth-year medical student. She shares left-handedness just like me. She was telling me about the surgical rotations that she is currently in. Her words were surprising and alarming, and she told me that her mentors and professors were forcing her to learn how to suture with her right hand. As a left-hander, I was appalled to find that this discriminatory practice still exists. Back in the 1930s, my grandmother, who was also left-handed, was forced to switch her right hand for writing, thus becoming ambidextrous. Albeit, Therese was not forced to learn to write with the right hand. However, it is just as appalling, if not worse, because she is doing medical procedures on patients. The patient's potential outcome between life and death remains in her hands. Thus, why are mentors forcing the youth to switch hands? I have been figure skating for 13 years, and I have had difficulty reaching the pinnacle of my figure skating career due to being left-handed. Being a left-hander is so apparent in the figure skating world because every jump and spin is opposite that of the right-handed skater. In competitions, there is no indication of whether the ice skating competitor is left-handed or right-handed. Consequently, when a left-handed skater enters the ice to compete and skates reversely, it sets the judges slightly off, which is detrimental for that skating competitor. Instead of focusing on the technique, the height of jumps, and the rotation of spins, they are figuring out why the competitor is skating in the opposite direction. About 10% of the world is left-handed. We live in a right-handed society. The majority of desks at school are right-handed. It is rare to see a left-handed desk. 3-ring binders are the worst for lefties, as the ring interferes when one writes. When driving in a car, lefties are forced to brake with their weaker right foot. Another problem in vehicles are the cup holders that are designed for right-handers. One is forced to hold the cup in the right hand. Also, the number pad on his keyboard is on the right-handed side. Has one ever seen it on the left? Instead of embracing the left-handed lifestyle that has been given to us, lefties have changed their habits to suit the right-handed society. Left-handed discrimination is another form of prejudice. Enough is enough. It is time to put our hands together and show the world what is left. The first step is communicating with other left-handers and telling them about this movement. Since we are a minority, it is vital to find a group that will be devoted to this issue. Secondly, we need to start a left-handed student organization at Oakland University. Some of the issues that will be discussed including purchasing more desks suitable to lefties. Showing data and facts about left-handed discrimination would help clarify the issues to the right-handed population. Using Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter will be the voice of the greater community. If the idea begins to touch a lot of people, starting a non-profit organization would be the next step. Online research is the first order on the agenda. Websites such as citmedialaw.org talk about the basic fundamentals of starting a non-profit organization in Michigan. Then I would meet with local directors who have started their own non-profit organizations, such as Grace Center for Hope, Gleaners, etc. I would meet with an advertising agent to figure out how to get this issue known to a greater population, such as Oakland County. I acknowledge at the beginning will be quite arduous. The ultimate goal is to influence companies who would want to partake in this movement. For example, it would be nice if a car company would design cup holders on the left side of the car, or design vehicles that have the option of having the brake on the right side. It would be an achievement if a big box store such as Target had a left-handed office supply section. They could supply left-handed items such as notebooks with the spirals on the opposite side, and an alternative solution to a 3-ring binder to benefit the left-handed consumer. Apple could have an alternative keyboard with a number pad being on the left side. They could call it iLeft. Not only would these solutions help the left-handed community, it would also increase revenue and popularity for these corporations. This movement would also address issues in the sports community. For example, figure skating competitions would be more equal if there was a section to identify which direction the competitor skates in. This movement for left-handed equality would take years, if not decades, considering the obstacles we are going to face. It will not take long getting the issue known, but actually seeing results will require patience. It was not too long ago that we were still fighting for women's rights, and that racial discrimination was still occurring. there are also bigger issues in the world that need to be addressed. I know it is not fair to compare my topic with issues such as the hearing impaired, the visually impaired, and the mentally disabled. I realize that this essay could be interpreted as whining about a lot of minor inconveniences. The bigger principle is that no group should be discriminated against because of the way they were born. It is to bring light to the fact that there are groups that are born differently, and we need to embrace and respect the differences. Discrimination is discrimination, and it should not be tolerated. I dedicate this to my fellow left-handed brothers and sisters. It is time for our voices to be heard and our left hands to be raised.